Hey, how you doing? Dennis here, and today we're going to be checking out. Now, I'm not saying never use a group, but there are options in Figma that are probably better for what you want. Let's start with this icon. Draw a circle, give it a white border of 2, remove the fill, type a question mark, place it in the middle of the circle, select them both and group them. This is fine, but it doesn't adapt well to being resized. Let's try a frame. Round those corners to make it a circle. Give it a border and remove the fill. The frame acts like a container, so our question mark is inside the frame. Set the constraints to center. It resizes differently, but still not really what we're looking for. Draw another circle. Drag out the sweep. Reset the sweep to 100 and set the ratio. We want the circle to have a fill of white instead of a border. Place a question mark. Select them both and use command+E to flatten them. Now your icon is one vector that can be colored and resized as one item. Plus, you can direct select a path of your vector and color it separately, just like a developer can modify a path of an SVG. Speaking of developers, let's look at all three in dev mode. The group only sees the circle as an asset to export. The question mark is still text. The frame acts as a container with padding and the text inside of it. The vector is a complete icon that can be exported as an SVG and has all the path and color information the developer needs. Let's create a logo card. We have a logo mark and logo text as separate elements. Let's draw a rectangle, send it to back, give it a black fill, select all, align vertical centers, set the space between, select all, and group. Even though we very carefully arrange the layout, it doesn't adapt well to being resized. Let's look at a frame. Give it a black fill. Let's place just the logo mark to start. Remember, the frame behaves as a container, so you can resize that container without distorting the contents inside of it. Content can be cropped. It can be constrained to the frame edges. Content will move with those edges if the frame is resized. We can constrain to center. Now let's bring in our text. Constrain it to the bottom center, nudge it up a bit. Constrain the mark to the top center, nudge it down a bit. Now that we have set up some rules, resizing the card is better controlled. Let's try a horizontal layout. Constrain the mark left center, nudge it in right, constrain the text to the right center, and nudge it in to the left. Again, the content follows the shape of the card without distorting it. Now let's try an auto layout. Space between 10, 20 padding all around. Give it a black fill. Just like any frame, we set up a set of rules. But with auto layout, you can quick and easily set the alignment of the layout, change the order of the content, and set the layout to vertical, horizontal, or wrap. Change space between to auto so the space increases to fill the available space between objects. This behaves just like the constraints we used in the previous frame example. If you set the width and height to hug, it will adjust to fit the size of the contents inside the frame. Here is my favorite. Select the text layer and change it to fill container. Now the line of text will adjust and wrap based on the size I make the frame. Let's take everything we've learned and make a simple header banner. Start with a rectangle, fill it black, give it a white border, and round its corners. Place it over our content and send it back. Since everything is an independent element, I'll spend a lot of time and clicks aligning and positioning everything where I want it. Looks good? Select all and group. As before, it's not very adaptable if it's resized. Also note here that if I select the logo, the X and Y coordinates are in relation to the entire drawing canvas and not the relationship to the group it's in. Let's do the same design with a frame. We can apply all the same properties to a frame that we did to the rectangle. Place our content inside the frame, set up our constraint and placement rules. Note here that the X and Y coordinates of the logo are its position inside the frame. Thinking of frames as containers is similar to how developers use content division elements or divs when they build the code. And finally, auto layout. With this kind of frame, we can set the padding, layout, and alignment in addition to the same fill, border, and rounded corner properties of our other examples. That's not right. Let's change this from a fixed value to auto so it will adapt to the container size. Nice. Let's change the logo to fill container and just the text layer inside that to fill container. Now this one banner will adapt to a wide range of sizes, eliminating any need to create multiple layouts. Let's take another look at dev mode. Select the group. You get some useful information while hovering over the elements, but there is no padding in the CSS box model and very little layout information. A frame puts an overlay diagram over the artwork, a complete box model with padding, and more complete layout and style information which offer developers better assistance in creating CSS. The auto layout frame also creates a better picture for your developers of what's needed to build your design. And there you have it. Several reasons not to use groups and build better designs to hand off to your developers. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you for more lessons real soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.